Namato Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to triple them, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening, everyone. So today is a 3rd of April, Saturday the 3rd of April 2021. And this is Ajahn Sujan from Warapanya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. Hello everyone, hello Emma, hello Margaret, hello Simone. I hope that you're all having a wonderful time with the sunshine and a very good weather. Today I was much of the time outside of the center in the field, hiding all those Easter eggs along the trees, and there were 6 kids going and finding not just the one but did 3 times, and that really tired me. And kids were like super excited and a lot of energy. I don't know how they got that energy. Probably I was there like them too. So this is the Saturday, and by the time when I looked at the time, it was already 5 o'clock. So good evening, Yvonne. So this is Easter Saturday. I think I mentioned about something yesterday that we have to go forward, bouncing forward towards something new, as this is Easter. Hello Susma Didi from Nepal. I hope that you're keeping well. I saw you're very busy these days. So I mentioned about bouncing forward towards the better life. And sometimes people want to seclude themselves, seclusion from everyone, and thinking that they want to go away far, far, and it's like a far, far away kingdom. And the more you run away, it's better to, thinking of finding a better place. But within a short period of a time, we find that, again, new things happens, and chaos again. And it happened to even to the Buddha as well, that the people were shouting and telling him off and telling him to go away from the city. Wherever he went to a town at that time in that city, people were just telling him off to leave the city, in which I also experienced there in Aberdeen when I came for the first time. I experienced a few harassment like that. And I always remember those words that the Buddha told to Venerable Ananda, that what if you have moved to new city, and then there also happens these harassment, how would you deal with it? It's not by running. It's not by running away from these things, but you have to face it and you have to deal with it. And when we are dealing with this situation, again, dealing alone sometimes can be very difficult. And dealing alone sometimes can be diving into a same thought processes, like having a bath with a dirty water again and again, and why me, why me, why me? And meanwhile, because you're already having those thought processes and not able to overcome, and then if you come across with the same people, similar mentalities and a similar problem that you are facing, what happens is that it just makes you feel worse. Life becomes very worthless. bored and no meaning at all, and feeling emotionally very down every day. And that would affect to so many, not only yourself, your partner, your family, your friends, and your relatives. And as a result of that, not only you're thinking of going away far, finding in a paradise world, so you will be dreaming of it. You will be dreaming to have such a paradise that no one come and disturb you, and the place that completely happy and everything is there as you wish for. But this is not going to happen. There is no such place that there is nobody bothering you. A human nature is such that if nobody is bothering you, you will bother them. This is how we are. If nobody notices you, you want you to be noticed by others. That's the human nature. So that's why this thought of running away from everything and finding this peaceful and tranquil state, or like a paradise island, is unlikely to have it. It is not there. It's all in the mind, says many people understand. The moment when we know how to live our life in the moment, here and now, in this present moment, an ability to deal with that situation, then that is a paradise. You're creating your own heaven with your own hands in the place where you are. So it's all up to us to create or to make it worse. So heaven and hell is simply on your hand, the way you think. The way you think about it. So if we are thinking negativities, unwholesome thoughts, then obviously it leads to hell. Hellish life. Everything becomes miserable. Everything becomes so bad. Everything becomes always trouble. Everything becomes down. Nothing is right. Everything is wrong. Like become a real politician for yourself, because politicians always speaks are dirty about someone else and always presenting themselves as better. So politicians basically they will raise on someone's dead, or making someone's worse. So it's all in our mind. And if we understand this nature, then we will be able to be happy in every moment. So hell and heaven that we can experience here, not by running away from the troubles and finding the seclusion deep in the mountains. Because human beings are social beings. And because being a social beings, we always deal with other people, and we need a company at all the time. And having a company is very important. So that's why Buddha said in the highest blessings that first that we have to do is to avoid having a bad friends or a foolish friends, and association with the wise ones. And how do we know the foolish friends? Yvonne is saying that I am glad, I am happy. That's really good. I'm very glad to hear, Yvonne. When you are happy, I am happy too. Huh? So happiness is like that. Having a good friends around. Not association with any foolish ones. And how do we know that? And simple way of looking at it is that a person who is always thinking about a negativity of themselves, of other people, of a nature, of a situation, always complaining, then whether you like it or not, it affects you. Whether you like it or not, you will be copying some of the words. You will be copying some of the natures. You will be copying some of the behaviors. And that's not helpful. That's not helpful for your well-being, mental well-being. And also, in your daily life, what happens is that you are making mess as well because you're copying. So it's very important to have a good company to deal with the situation that you are in. Yes, that it is possible you can go to the retreats. You can go to the woods and, deep down in the Himalayas for a couple of days or a weeks or a month or a year. Some people would go 3 years. Okay? So that's why it is possible to go secluded places, but eventually you will come back to the society and you have to deal with it. And then when they do not want to bother you, and then you feel that you want to bother them. Am I saying that I'm scared to make friends? They always leave. I think I have mentioned the very nice mantra. Do you want to have a mantra, Emma? How not to be scared? So that's one day he or she will leave us one way or another. This is a mantra. Because we can't be always together, Emma. When condition is there, we will be together. When condition fades, we will not. Sometimes emotionally, other times naturally. It will go. Well, and Yvonne is saying that the right ones will always stay. They will stay in your heart. They will stay next to you, in your hearts. But physically, one day or another, we have to leave, or we have to apart. But I do agree with someone who is good and wants very nice. They will be with you, thin and thick. And it's not easy to find. So that's why there was one occasion that Venerable Ananda was living in a Sakyans, so-called the Nagaraka city. The Nagaraka. And then there, while he was meditating in a secluded place, and what happens that he had this something awakening took place in him, and he thought, wow, having a good friend is half of the spiritual life. It gives so much comfort, it gives so much security, and it gives so much feeling of that someone is next to you, like that. And Margaret is saying that the true friends will be with you through everything. That's right. True friends will be staying with you thick and thin. And Yvonne is saying, no clinging. That's true. And no attachment, Colin says. But having a good friend, and how do we know that a person is a good friend? So good friend is always will be with us, thick and thin. Yeah? And it's saying that a good friend will be there to advise you, to guide you. And remember, they encourages you too, if that's a good thing, if that's you are walking on the right path, if that you are doing good, walking in the beneficial for yourself and then others. Good friend, this is the second one what we have to remember. Good friends are there to nag you, warn you as well. A person who is good friend and seeing you are doing bad things and not warn you, then that is not regarded as a good friend. A good friend will nag you, good friend will warn you, good friend will tell you that this is not good, what you are doing. The consequences will be bad to you. But if you still choose to do, then this good friend will not object. But he or she, the good friend, will be standing beside you. So that is the nature of a good friend. It's called Kalyana Mitta. And here, Venerable Ananda, who was the attendant of the Buddha, in that moment, this something like awakened that having a good friends, like a association with the Sariputta, whenever Venerable Ananda had some doubts on the teachings, the Sariputta is there to help him, and Upali other side, and Moggallana on the other side. So he felt like, oh, this is really good. And so he thought that this is a half of the life. And so he went to pay respect to the Buddha and then said, Venerable Sir, I think that having a Kalyana Mitta is half of the spiritual life. And the Buddha said, no, Ananda, no. Having a good friend is not half of the life, half of the spiritual life. It is the full of a spiritual life. And because it's a full of a spiritual life, because a good person or a Kalyana Mitta, a good friend, will be there to advise you, will be there to guide you, will be there to encourage you to do good things. Okay, so it's like in our English language there is a saying for the children. It's like what is it called? So much comes from the mother, and so much from the father. So like that. And a father and a mother, they, whatever they are, the children will be copying. And having a good friend is basically, although we do not agree with them at the beginning, although we may have some doubts and although we may not be following them, but because of their behavior as such, that always thinking of good thing, always in a positive mode, always encouraging us to do good thing, and always guiding towards the right path, then because of this nagging at all the time, or telling or doing by speaking and thinking in this way, automatically you also become a calm, and you also feel like there is something a better, there is something different, and you want to copy. And gradually, whether you like it or not, the effect is there, and gradually you will be having some form of a good path, and following the right path towards the right thing to do. So that's why whenever we have problems, whenever we have difficulties, whenever you are feeling very down, those days, do not keep yourself. Find someone to share. And they say sharing is already solved the problem, half of it. And friends are there for it. And then when a good friend is there, he will not be making any fun of you. He will not be making any difficulties to you. And then one I would like to say, do not expect others to be a good. Why don't you be a good friend? Because we do not know their minds, we do not know their temperaments, we do not know their knowledge, we do not know their behaviors. I remember a few years ago, before when I was a novice, and before my teacher died, he told me, and he told us some nice stories, and he said that in order to understand a person, you have to live with that person for many years so that you will see their true colors. So, in this case, rather than expecting them to be a good person, why don't you to be good to that person? So good in return you're giving. And you know deep down in your heart that you are truth. You're trustworthy to yourself, how much trustworthy you have been. And with this, you are offering to be a good friend to anybody, anyone, without any discrimination, without any prejudice, and without any boundaries. You're offering yourself to be a good friend to that person. Always there, standing beside, ready to help, ready to support, ready to encourage. We normally like to look for them. It's like Colin is saying, if you desire, then you're looking to the wrong way. So you're desiring them to be as you want them to be. Even our body, we can't tell it to be as we like it. How could we ask someone to be as we want them to be? It's unlikely. So what we need to do is we become a good friend to someone. We are there to advise if that person or that friend is following the wrong path, if that friend is having a difficult time, if that friend is suffering from different things. You offer your hand, you offer your ears, you offer your time, you offer your knowledge. Sometimes just sharing a little bit, offering your time, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, just be with that person freely. Yeah, like that. This friend is the only friend you have in the whole world for that amount of a time. Then it says, sharing is already half solved the problem, and that's how need a good friend. And that's how this Buddha was saying that having a good friend is the complete of the spiritual path. And with this, what happens? A good friend is helping us to have a right view, having a right understanding about the things and about the world, about whatever is happening. When you have a right understanding about the things, you'll be perceiving correctly the way you think and what you are saying, what you are doing. Everything becomes wholesome and becomes noble. Will become beneficial for yourself and then beneficial for others. And with that, what happens is that you will be able to, at least of a temporarily, with your insight, able to get rid of any bad things that's taking place, any bad things that's happening. And then gradually, as you develop in that path, you will be able to eradicate all those bad things. Margaret is saying, this really good one, saying that be a good friend and don't expect anything in return. And Colin is saying even better, like trust yourself. So be trustworthy of yourself. But here what you have to remember, and we have to remember, that A good friend is there, not just praising you, not just be with you when you are successful, but a friend who is there to guide you, to advise you, to encourage you to do good things. And meanwhile, if you are doing bad things, he's there or she's there to tell you off. Okay? Tell you off. So that's why Buddha said that I will not compromise to telling you off if you are doing or if you are following the wrong path. Sushma Didi from Nepal is saying that yes, truth to yourself. Trust yourself. So that's why it's very important to have a good friend. Although we mentally we want to be separate from the whole world and go into the paradise island, it's unlikely that there is, because we are a social human beings. We always need someone. Although they will not bother you, but you will be going to bother them. Okay? So in this case, what is needed is having a good friend. Associating with them, and then again expecting others to be good to you is unlikely. You can have it, but what about you being a good to them? Offering your help, offering your ears, offering your time, offering your some material things, offering your wisdom, then everything becomes perfect. You become a Kalyana Mitta to all, to your friend. And that's how we can grow together, help together, helping one another to heal our wounds, heals our hearts, so that we all be happy. So thank you. With this the reflection, I will end here for tonight. May you all be well and happy, and thank you for all your messages. And may you all be well and happy. Be a good friend to yourself and then to others. Be a good Kalyana Mitta. May the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. In a few moments' time, we will have evening chanting and guided meditation. You're most welcome to join with us. Until then, good night, and have a shortly we'll see you. Sadhu.